Happy Friday, everybody, and today is another day of Paranormal Question of the Day. Coming up right after the intro. And we're back. So, today is a very fun, exciting day, and at this household, my daughter is graduating today from high school. So,
And look at your dedication, still doing a paranormal question of the day.
yeah, I figured I could sneak one in real quick.
Mhm.
That didn't sound very good, did it? Anyway, so Taryn, I'll be here for about a half hour, and Taryn will take over after that. So,
If we
eh,
need to.
if we need to, yep. And today's an interesting one, and see how many people take to the question. Just a real quick side note: Monday's Paranormal Question Day will not be airing due to a holiday, so we will be back on Wednesday. And so the Paranormal Question Day is this. So,
Hey, Jeff.
doppel- doppelgangers and mimic spirits. What do you think about it? Do you think they are actually real? Do you think they actually happen? What do you think?
Me personally, I've never had an experience anything like. I mean, I have people say like, "Oh my gosh, you look exactly like this person I know,"
Mm-hmm.
but I've never experienced any. I mean, I've seen people that I think look like other people, but not like it
Right.
is. I don't think it's a like a doppelganger type of a thing.
Because, and a lot of times on Facebook, you get these apps where they sit there and try to match you up with a superstar, right?
Oh yeah, I look like Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah. So, so, uh,
Shaquille O'Neal is my twin.
you're doing, wow,
Mhm.
that's one hell of a tall dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things that it's Facebook. It could be anything that you could find an app to do so. Even on Google, sometimes you might find your twin and you don't even realize it. And it makes do for a very interesting conversation.
For sure.
And I did have an experience once.
I'm having a
And
word
this is
malfunction.
my very first time that doing on a being on a Facebook Live. A lot of my friends go on Facebook Live and stuff like that. And I have my not these on, but my ANC headphones, the active noise canceling, which I do that all the time, just because you can hear so much more. And they decided, okay, we're gonna go for supper, and they were at Sally's house, and we're just gonna leave this live run in this room and let us know what all happens and whatnot. Just leave it down in the, comments, and we'll look at it after we're back.
Hmm.
So, 15, 20 minutes went by, and it's just all of a sudden, it's just like you're in tune with the place without being there, but actually feel like you're actually there.
Right.
And I was hearing so much stuff. I mean, knocks and bangs and voices, and another person was in chat that was hearing kind of the same stuff as I was.
Hmm.
But if you go downstairs, you got a kitchen area, and next thing you know, I'm hearing talking, like full fledged talking, like how we are now. And it was the voice of the lady that was there that they when they left. So I'm like, time has passed. It's totally quiet. You know everybody's gone.
Hmm.
And then I start hearing this voice, and it's her voice. And I'm like, what the heck? I thought you guys were gone. I'm sitting there, I'm texting them and say, hey, are you guys gone? Actually gone, gone? It's like, yeah, we left about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm hearing her voice down in the kitchen area. Well, we're not there. So they rewound the video, and sure enough, they heard her voice.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have it?
It's on their webpage, the Raven Rose Paranormal page.
Oh, that would be so cool to hear.
So I mean, it's yeah, sure enough, I hear talking. But when you do those things, like I said, have the ANC headphones on, and it opens your range a lot more.
Hi, Michael.
And that was the first time that something has ever clicked for me. Like it was me, like I was meant to hear that, you know.
Yeah,
And it was such an experience that I'll never forget it.
that's awesome.
So that was my experience of a mimic
Now
spirit.
I have thought I heard like now I don't know if it's just because my mind would be like who else would be it like your subconscious mind I think is constantly working whether you're thinking about something or not, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like so like when I was living with my ex-boyfriend and we were I thought I was like I definitely was home by myself, or at least I thought I was.
Hey, Lori.
And I heard a man's voice say, you know, hello. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, hello? I was like, I know nobody's here. Went upstairs and like I was like, I, I was like, that sounded like, and then afterwards I started to try to make sense of it. So I was like, I'm like, maybe, that sounded like Jimmy,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I wonder if that was, I'm like, yeah, hello. I'm like, are you home? You know,
Yeah.
and nobody was there.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, and there's voices outside the building as well. So you can tell what was inside the house and outside the house.
I do I do think that if there is such a thing as mimic spirits,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm assuming doppelgangers would be almost like a, a parallel to like what a Men in Black person would be, and a mimic spirit to me would be like something that, and I could be totally wrong, but I would think the only purpose to mimic is to hide who it really is.
And that could be very well true, to hide who it is, because it could be her voice that I heard, but it could be a totally different spirit using her voice as a
Right, because
disguise.
it wants you to be comfortable.
It's trying to drag you down to a spot that you shouldn't really be dragged down to.
However, that might not necessarily be a negative thing. Like it might be doing it
True.
because it doesn't want to scare you and thinking if it gives you something familiar,
Hmm.
you'll be more apt to feel more comfortable to communicate.
Yeah, but it's
Which is
also
the familiar.
trickery. It could be trickery as well.
Could be.
And that's what's so important about dealing with mimic spirits in different locations that you've never been to. You know,
Mhm.
and doppelgangers. I mean, walking down the sidewalk, and it's like you turn your head. It's like, wait a minute, I'm with this person, but yet it looks like she's just walking that way. She's still with me though,
Mhm.
or he's with me. You know what I'm saying? So and that's where it comes into something like, are we? Is there doubles of us? Like alien form, but they're just like us in a different part of the country.
I can't
So,
imagine more than one of me.
man. Well, I mean, if we had two of me, which I think there is, and he's blind in the left, I mean, no, yeah, blind left because I'm blind in the right. You know, yeah,
If there's two of me, I could get more stuff done.
yeah, still can get more stuff done, but
I would send my doppelganger to work every day.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, and then just imagine he had the same kind of brain as me. Oh my god, we'd never get through all the questions. But yeah, I think it's a very fascinating thing, and I wish that it's something that you hear more of. You know, and this
Like
is
I said, I don't know anything. I mean, it's hard for me to, like, I'm just basing my opinion off of zero knowledge of either.
yeah.
Just that I know, like, a doppelganger looks like somebody.
Right, right. And there's a lot of people that I've talked to that have experience of doppelgangers and stuff like that, and mimic spirits, and um, it's just one of those things that how often does it happen? When does it happen? Is it during the day? Is it more during the night? It's one of those things that you just don't know when it's going to happen, and when it does happen, it throws you for a loop because you're not ready for it.
Oh, yeah. I think it's just like investigating. You're either going to it's either going to happen or it's not going to happen, no
Right.
matter what time of day it is, no matter when. I mean, I think it's just, you have to be, just the universe has to align, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and your antennas have got to be open, and you just have to be listening and hearing and feeling, and, you know.
Right. And it's the other thing that I thought about is, okay, so if you have your doppelganger downstairs, all right, and what if they go in the refrigerator and move shit around, and then you go talk to that person? It's like, hey, where'd you move this? How come this is not here where it was before? And they say,
Mhm.
well, I didn't move it.
Mhm.
So now your doppelganger is moving stuff on you, you know, and it's like,
I do
I
know
don't.
that that's one of the claims for paranormal, like private homes and stuff. You know, like, oh, um, for example, my aunt had, um, well, I call her my mom. She's like my mommy, but she had this beautiful tennis bracelet, if I remember correctly. It was a tennis bracelet,
Mm-hmm.
and she is like me. You know, has to put something, you know, in the same place all the time. You know, so her stuff is very organized. Um, and she went to go get it, couldn't find it, and it was months and months and months. And then
Mm.
finally they were cleaning, they were spring cleaning, and they took the lampshades off, and she had one of those lampshades, you know, where you had to, do this and pull it off, like the old school.
Oh yeah, with the screw type deal.
So the tennis bracelet was wrapped inside the screw, like
Ooh,
inside the lamp.
interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm. So, what do
That
you guys think in the comments? Have you had anything like this happen to you before? And if so, share your story and what you think about it.
I Side note, if
Sure.
while we're waiting for everybody.
Hmm.
So I came across. We did an investigation at Kreischer Mansion in New York.
Hmm.
I leave my recorder going the entire time.
Right.
We were doing a EVP burst session, and my friend Lourdes and her husband or boyfriend. I don't know, but they're um Ron Iacovetti, Lourdes was using her recorder, you know, to do the burst session with. So we were like stopping it to listen to it and go back.
Hmm.
Um, so as I'm listening now during this, I remember not really hearing anything with my ear as we were asking questions.
Hmm.
So I'm listening. Lourdes asked, "What was your family business?" Right.
Hmm.
And so now, as I'm listening to my recorder, listening to the first go around, right? It's the live EVP burst or whatever. You hear nothing. We go back to listen. Um, and then you get to that part again. What was your family business? Nothing.
Hmm.
So we continue to listen to it, and then we hear something else. So Lourdes has to rewind it, and by accident goes like all the way back to the beginning. So she's fast forwarding really quick. She stops before that part, right? And not for any particular reason. It's just that we knew that whatever we wanted to hear was like a little bit after that.
Hmm.
So the second time, so my recorder's listening to our EVP burst. You hear it again. What was your family business? Only this time you hear factory work.
Hmm.
So I was like, the heck? So I wound it. I listened to it 70 times. I hear it. I went back to the one before that. There's nothing. You can tell there's something there, right?
Hmm.
And for my peace of mind and sleep, she goes back again because we heard something again. Anyways, we wind up being able to listen to it again. What was your family business? Nothing there.
So it was made meant for you to hear it.
Well, I have it on record, so now everybody can hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have the different, so
So was it just one recorder or two recorders?
One.
One, okay. So it'd be interesting if you caught
But
one and didn't catch on the other.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you're listening to us listen back.
hmm
So Lourdes's recorder didn't catch it either.
Okay, there we go. So that's where that came into play.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You're not hearing it on any of the recorders
hmm
or the recorder that we were listening back to. And I was like right up against, you know what I mean? So as we were hearing it, responses and stuff like that. At that time, we were not, we didn't hear it with our ears. When it happened, we didn't hear it on any recorders or nothing.
Yeah. And that's, I did a YouTube video about digital voice recorders saying that you could spend the most expensive one and get the most cheapest one, and the cheap might catch what the expensive didn't, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really matter how much you spend on the recorder.
Well, this was caught. This was caught while we were listening to, like, it was answering
Right.
the question, but it's just, I've never had anything like that happen.
Yeah, and it's a very neat experience when it does, when it happens. It's like now you're left scratching your head, like, oh, let's try this and see if we can get something to happen again.
And
You
then
try
upon
to do that scientific part of it.
yeah, well, and then upon doing the research, that was the family business,
The factory.
factory work.
Yeah. Okay. And it all came true. And see, that's cool how everything gets validated. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I'm gonna put a video together so that people can hear it, and I want people to give me honest opinions about it because
just make sure you're wearing your ANC headphones when you listen to it.
yeah,
Makes it a lot easier. There's so many.
I listen to it with and without, and listening to it with, you can definitely hear it better and not hear it. You can hear when it's silent when we're listening, and you can hear when you hear factory work.
Right. Right.
And you can tell it's none of us.
I mean, when we were at the hotel recently for an investigation, the Karsten Nest, I had so many recorders going at so many different times. One time, I've only caught one EVP out of that whole time we were investigating, and it's very faint. So it's like,
It's
man.
almost like you can't even.
It's very hard to listen to. I had to rewind it probably 6-7 times to finally catch it because it says, yeah, that was it. Real faint. So, and that was just one EVP I caught the whole time I was there. Didn't catch anything on video. That was the only audio piece.
Let me see if you can hear it.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll play the actual one that has the factory work and tell me if you can hear it. Now, mind you, this is probably going to be hard to hear because it's already low and it's a recording of a recording.
Yep.
Because I don't know how to get the audio off of this recorder.
Oh, you can move it to. Does it have an SD card in it?
No, it has not.
Oh,
I have a special connection, and when I connect it and I try to record, like I'll hit play on the recorder and record on Audacity. It has this like weird static noise to it.
Oh yeah, I think there's a way to clean that up a little bit on Audacity, but I haven't learned too much about Audacity.
All right.
Only this time, after Lourdes asked, "What is your family business?" There is something after. That sounds very different than what we've been listening to.
It's so.
Factory, yep. Yeah, I heard it.
You did hear it?
Yeah, it's a man's voice.
And it said factory work. It was like real low, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I really hope you guys can hear that. I will rewind it again.
I'm putting a video together. That's why.
Yeah.
But this was before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now this is the first time where, again, we caught record anything else her business.
All right.
What is your family business?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing there.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's
wild.
2 more times. It's when we heard when I was listening live, there was nothing there. And then when the first time we listened back, nothing. The second time is when that factory work came up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third time, there's nothing.
That's wild. That's wild.
That has never happened to me before. There is a question.
Sure.
Do you think doppelgangers
Hey,
are
Yvette. Sorry.
dimensional beings?
Dimensional beings, as far as like aliens, is that where as far as you're going with that, Yvette? Because I think so.
It's raining.
Yeah, I would agree with her what she's saying about that, because I do think they could be aliens that mimic us and make us our doppelganger, just to try to survive on Earth.
Well,
trick
that would
us.
be Men in Black.
That could be Men in Black. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Which there is, if you go on a normal paranormal, normalparanormal.org, I believe, is Justin Bamforth's website. And you go on there, you can actually listen to a phone call, and it sounds like it's whatever it is trying to mimic the human language and the way we talk and everything, but you can tell it's off. This man received 4 phone calls, and this is back in the like late 80s, and he had one of those recorders, the tape recorders or whatever. So he used that to record these calls.
in which they can catch a lot of high frequencies and different kind of things in them as well. A lot better than what other things used to be used for. But no, I totally get that. I mean, it's reel to reel, basically, is what he was using, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And like the language it was using. And it was like, one of the things it said was, it uses your voice or something. I can't remember what it says, but it was just, it was crazy. It reminded me almost of like, if you ever saw Mothman Prophecies.
Oh, yes, that's, yeah.
When he was getting those phone calls.
From Ingrid Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a wild movie.
But that's what it reminded me of.
Wow.
Because he's like, who is this? Who is this?
Right. Absolutely. No, I mean, so, you know, with Yvette's question, she was actually messaged this morning saying this would be interesting. So she was ready for this episode tonight. So, So other than that, I mean, anybody else got anything? I got about 5 more minutes and I got to head out, folks. So I knew this kind of would be like a shorter episode type deal, depending on how much I'm going after I bounce out. But you know, like I said, it's something we don't talk about. I don't ever hear anybody talk about when you're doing paranormal investigations very much. I don't hear any podcasting talked about it. You know, it's very little talk. I think I want to do is I'm gonna try and get some more information about all this stuff, and then you can really dive in and then, you know, explain a little bit more, talk a little bit more, go into more factual stuff that I can find more stuff that's happened. So I think people enjoy that.
But I just don't know how. There's got to be a way to determine doppelganger or.
Now she sounds like me.
You know, how do you know? How do you really know what it is?
Right.
I don't know what anything is.
I mean, if they're standing side by side by you, where would you start to pick it apart?
Side by side, I'd freak out. I'll be like, "What is happening right now?"
I mean, it's kind of like Back to the Future. You're not supposed to see your other self.
Yeah.
You know, So if we see our other selves, what would happen? What kind of ripple would be in the water?
I'll be done in a minute.
So
Yeah. I don't know what would happen. If there's another me, I feel really, really sorry for whoever knows her.
yeah, yeah. Let's see. Oh, another blind man. Jesus, let me run the other way. Don't give him the keys of the car. I'm like, why not? I'll scare the hell out of you in the driveway. A lot of people don't like riding with me. That's okay.
Well, you are blind in one eye. I mean, it was a little.
Well, I drive like a race car.
Oh my gosh.
The new vehicle I bought, since I traded in my truck, I got this little Jeep Compass.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that thing just moves. It's like having my Cougar back all over again.
I want a Jeep.
It's a small one. It's a Compass. It's a nice one though. I like them. It's the new brand style of what they were a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the shape of it, the body style, the insides. It's real nice, except for when it's hot, and then your seats are super hot because of the full length moonroof.
Right.
So
That's awesome because you can use that during a meteor shower.
yeah, absolutely.
That's why I want one of those full moon roofs, just so that I can just lounge back in my seat and watch meteor shower when it's cold out.
The only bad thing is it only the window opens halfway. You don't get it doesn't go all the way back, but the
Only
cover,
halfway?
the cover that's that covers up the moonroof when it's snowing outside or whatever, it's cold to keep the heat more in the car. That slides all the way back, but the windows are exposed, but it only opens halfway.
Oh, that sucks. I would need to have one that opened all the way.
And I don't think they do that though. I don't think they make them halfway all the way because I think it's safety reasons. I don't know. It's the first time ever dealing with one, so I'll be interested if I see one that's like that.
Yeah.
So, does anybody else have anything to say, or you want to keep going, or you want to end it early? Sounds like you have to head out too.
Yeah. We're going to see the Top Gun.
Oh, you suck. That's one I want to see too. I'll see it next week. $5 Tuesdays.
That's cheap for movies. That's cheaper than gas.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing all for the last 5 years now. Just on Tuesdays though. So I guess what today's paranormal question day. I know it was a kind of a quick episode and not real long, but I just want to see how many people gravitate to it and have an interest in it. So if you want to know more about this subject and stuff like that, please let me know. Message me in the messenger or on leave a message on my YouTube page on MJ's Paranormal. And I'll get back with you on that, and definitely try to do more diving into this topic if you want more. But other than that, if you want to, she's playing with the camera.
All eyes on you, Darren.
That's on me. So if you want more subjects and want to pick out a subject for me or her to talk about, feel free to message us. I mean, I'd be happy to delve into different topics. So with that, for Taryn, I'm Darren.
I'm Darren. Wait.
We get it all mixed up.
Darren.
That's right. And I'm Darren. And you've been listening to the Paranormal Brew Network and BB3 TV Network. I bid you adieu, and I'll see you Wednesday. So long, everybody.